In today's MLB recap, we have to talk about the fact that it's crazy that after all these decades and years that bad owners and bad umpires are still ruining our beautiful game of baseball. Like, it's really getting old. Just ask Javier Baez and other guys who got robbed yesterday. The Orioles apparently finally got their order of Super Soldier Serum in the mail, and they've injected all of their starters with it because their starting pitchers have been really good lately. So that Shohei got injected with that stuff at birth. He hit one of the loudest home runs I think I've ever heard. Jacob deGrom had one of his weirdest starts ever. Just wait until you hear about his stat line. Boston, they're on the verge of total collapse, and players, they're now speaking out and flat out saying that they suck. And Anthony Volpe, he might finally be figuring it out on offense. We've said that a bunch of times, but he's been an extra base hit and on-base god over the last few weeks. He's looking pretty good. So we'll talk about all of the... Oh, wait, there you are. I don't know why I did that, but usually I say this is MLB recap. We have a sponsor, stuff like that. None of that. I just want to say thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. That's it. All I want is a like and a subscribe. That's it. Let's talk baseball. Just like I said in the intro, the Orioles finally got their special order of Super Soldier Serum for their starting pitchers because I don't know what's gone into them as of late. The Orioles starters have been really good. That's my only explanation. They're now Avengers. Charlie Morton got some help from his right fielder. O'Hearn, he got his glove underneath that baseball, and I thought it was a trap for a second, but nope, that is a catch. Dylan Carlson, this is a fun home run. He was a super prospect for the Cardinals, had a really good season, then kind of fizzled off and fell out of favor with fans. He got some payback. A 3-run home run versus old team Charlie Morton. He went out there and struck out 5. I want to say that he fully carved because he did allow a 2-run home run to Pedro Pais, but it was just those two. Felix Bautista, he finished the game with 99 past Jordan Walker. He has 8 saves on the year. The Orioles starting staff has gone almost 19 innings the last 3 games, just 2 runs allowed to Pedro Pais, 2-run home run. They've won all 3 games. They're still 19-34, but if the starters don't give up 8-9 runs every single time, they have the lineup to do some crazy things. The Rays are going for their 6th win in a row. What's with all these teams like the Angels, the Twins, the Cardinals going on crazy random win streaks? The Rays offense was slowly marinating in the first half of this game. They could not touch Chris Paddock, but after a single and a double from Brandon Lau and Junior Caminero, Paddock is out the game. He just kind of ran out of gas. In comes Brock Stewart, and out goes Aranda. Jonathan Aranda hit a 3-run home run, his 7th home run of the season. He's hitting over 300 after 3 more base hits in this one. The same kind of thing happened to Zach Littell. He let someone get on base. He got pulled after a really solid start, and a reliever gave up a tank, but this was an absolute tank. Carlos Correa, I think, went 987 feet. He's been awful versus righties. He's batting 205 versus righties, but he's raking lefties. A 355 batting average with a 1,200 OPS. That's insane. The Rays are rallying now. Aranda and Mead, they both singled ahead of Jose Caballero. And I feel like we see this once a video now. A guy gets to the wall with plenty of time. He times the jump right, but he just flat out misses the catch. That was a tough game for Trevor Larnach, the left fielder, who missed that grab. He also went 0 for 4. Danny Jansen, he added 2 more. His 4th home run. He's been a machine behind the dish at blocking and taking his walks. The Rays, they do win their 6th in a row. They're now over 500 at 27-26. The Twins are 29-24. Boston fans are getting sick of what's been happening these last few weeks, and players are starting to be vocal as well. We'll talk about that after the highlights. Jackson Chourio, he guessed right. He went first pitch ambushing into the bullpen. His 8th home run. That's his first home run in 15 games. Andrew Monasterio, he somehow kept this fair. There was a little pebble. It looked like it was going to go foul, but then it hit that pebble and bounced back into fair territory. Joey Ortiz, I need you guys to look at this. He's about to put on his moon shoes and fly. Marcelo Meyer fought off 94 at his hands, and he almost beat the shift, but Joey, he went airborne to save DL Hall of a base runner, Garret Crochet. Dude, he was pitching mean. He was angry. He struck out 2 in the 7th inning to make it 11 on the day. He has 75 innings pitched with a tiny 2.04 ERA. He's on pace to strike out well over 250. Both teams, they traded some infield swings with the rookie Christian Campbell beating out the double play for an RBI fielder's choice. Eric Haas, he swung with all of his might, and the ball went maybe 5 feet. That's an RBI infield single. It's 3-1. Jarren Duran just made it 3-2. He dunks in Trevor's Story, and this is crazy. Devers got walked to load the bases for Connor Wong. First base was not empty. Jarren, he was still out there. Trevor McGill, he unleashed 100 up in the zone. He just let it loose, and Wong, he could not find a barrel. McGill now has 10 saves. The Brewers have won 2 games in a row. The Red Sox, they've dropped 3 games in a row. Rob Refsnyder, who's been really good this year, he had some strong words after the game. He just flat out said they suck.
I mean, we still lost. I don't really care. Tired of losing close games. We just need to figure it out and win some games. We're not doing it. we suck right now. We got to just be better.
So the Red Sox have lost 3 games in a row. Both New York teams have won 3 games in a row. And after a long home run from Zach Neto, that ball went 440 feet for his 9th home run already. The Halo starter, Jack Kohanowitz, he fell apart after 3 perfect innings, by the way. He allowed singles to Rice, Grisham, and Judge, so the bases are juiced for Bellinger. Oof, he walked in a run. And then Volpe hit one over Chris Taylor's head. Yes, you heard that right. The Angels have signed the former Dodger, Chris Taylor. Anthony Volpe clears the bases. He now has 14 extra base hits with 16 RBIs and 4 stolen bases and a very solid 845 OPS his last 26 games. He's obviously playing great defense along with doing all of that in the box. Now we have third basemen trading web gems. Moncada and Peraza both had to charge, scoop, and throw across their bodies. Moncada robbed Volpe. Peraza then returned the favor. He robs Moncada. That completes 6 innings for Yarbrough, who struck out 7. Ryan Yarbrough has a 3.06 ERA. He's been an anchor and an absolute godsend for the Yankees. They take it 5-1. The Yankees, like I said, they've won 3 games in a row. They're up to a whopping 33 wins. The Dodgers are also trying for 33 wins. We'll show that after the Mets grabbed their 33rd on a walk-off sac fly. Yes, I'm skipping to the final inning because it was kind of a boring game, not going to lie. Tyrone Taylor, he hit a baseball just outside the sprinting Luis Robert Jr.'s reach. That ball was in the air forever. I thought for sure he was going to catch it, and I also thought that Tyrone was going to go 3. He holds up at 2. The Mets dugout was obviously fired up. The White Sox, they intentionally walked Jeff McNeil because they wanted a double play. Luis Torrens said, I'm going to crack this baseball. Now you got to face our team captain with the bases loaded. Lindor, he skies one to deep right. The Mets, they take it. They're 33-21. And a big tip of the cap to Clay Holmes. 1 earned run over 5 2/3. He probably could have gone more than that, but the umpire, they screwed him bad. We'll talk more about umpires in a second. I really wanted to show his star and his 3 strikeouts because the Mets are turning into a literal pitching factory. They can fix anyone. Clay Holmes, Griffin Canning, they developed David Peterson really well. Relievers like Reed Garrett and Brazoban, they've been some of the best relievers in baseball. GG's to the Mets. They're a pitching factory now. And actually, now that I think about it, they kind of always have been. They had DeGrom, Wheeler, Syndergaard, Matt Harvey. Okay, yeah, they've always had studs, and they just know how to build pitchers. All right, here we go. The Dodgers game coming right up, and then we'll show Javier Baez going crazy against an umpire. I have to do something real quick. So Ohtani, obviously, he just went yard, like first pitch ambush for his 19th home run, but I have to play the audio because it sounded like thunder or a perfect home run. Play it.
And off we go with Ohtani blasting the ball. And off we go with
Did you hear that? I mean, that was just beautiful. I almost got emotional hearing that. Gavin Williams, the starter for the Guardians, he stunk again. Andy Pages, he drove in Will Smith on a bad breaking ball. And look at Yamamoto showing off the athleticism in the 3rd inning. Will Wilson, that's a real name, dropped a bunt down past Freddie. Yoshi ran as fast as he could to the baseball, picked it up, and tagged Wilson on the shoulder. Pitchers are athletes too. Teoscar, he knocked in a 3rd run for Yama on a scorched baseball over Quan's head. Gavin Williams gave up 4 runs with 6 walks. He gave his team no chance to win this game, but at the same time, Mookie, he played a Kim for his 31st RBI. Freddie also grabbed an RBI. Shohei scores again. He scored 3 times in this game. And here's the Moto montage. Yoshinobu Yamamoto had 7 strikeouts over 6. The ERA is back under 2. He has 75 strikeouts with a 1.97 ERA in 64 innings. He's only 26 years old. He's getting better and better. Will Smith, he just unleashed some anger on that baseball. He corks one out. He took a few bugs out in the process. The midges are out. Those little bugs are called the midges. They show up every so often. They must have thought that it was October and Jabba Chamberlain was on the mound. If you know, you know. The Dodgers, they're 33-21. San Diego is staying right there with the Dodgers. I'm going to show them after we see why Javier Baez went kind of crazy, like almost Jose Ramirez versus Tim Anderson on the home plate umpire. You can see in the very first inning, home plate umpire Phil Cuzzi, he was already setting up a low strike zone. Adames, he's down looking. Well, look at Keider Montero with a web gem. See, pitchers are in fact athletes as well. That's between the legs. He kind of had a slow reaction, then reacted fast, and it was a weird one, but he makes the play. We're about to have a play at the plate. Dylan Dingler, he peppered one to left. Luis Matos, he can sling it. Patrick Bailey could not scoop it, and to me, it's kind of wild to call that an error, but I guess that's the only thing you can call it. Now, here's the Javi clip. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Patrick Bailey snapped his wrist up to frame a low curveball. Phil Cuzzi rung him up. This is getting so old. Players getting ejected when they were right. I guess Phil didn't like the point. I'm going to put point in air quotes because Javi didn't really point. He just kind of said it's low and outside. Javi said he got thrown out for basically nothing. He said he didn't say anything bad. He was just asking why the umpire was telling him to walk away when he was just having a conversation. He said that he's not an animal. They're humans. They're allowed to talk. Riley Greene thankfully picked up Javier Baez with a 2-run single with the bases loaded. The Giants made one little lone comeback attempt. Wilmer Flores has 44 RBIs, but Trey Sweeney, he completed a sweet double play to end that jam, and Will Vest, he now has 6 saves. By the way, a tip of the cap to Keider Montero, the starter. He went 5 shutout with 1 base hit. The Tigers are the first in baseball to 35 wins. So that Javier Baez ejection was completely just whack. Yesterday, we also saw Oneil Cruz. We'll talk about this full game later. He had a ball at his shoes called a strike. Now, luckily, he didn't get too animated or ejected or anything like that, but what are we doing calling that a strike? A few days ago, Miguel Andujar had 2 straight awful strikes called against him, so obviously, he's on edge. He got ejected after swinging at a pitch that probably would have been called a strike as well. Okay, maybe not. That pitch was really up, but after striking out, he took out all of his frustration, and rightfully so. Those were awful strikes. Walker Buehler, a week before that, got ejected for saying a pitch was right down the middle, and it pretty much was. Umpires are ruining our beautiful game. When is this crap gonna end? Or at the very least, when are these guys gonna be held accountable? I've heard so many stories about the umpire union being as strong as really any union in the world, so that's why these guys have jobs forever. They're never really held accountable, but I need to see it. These umpires are ruining the game. They're stealing at bats. They're stealing pitches from guys working as hard as they possibly can. It's getting embarrassing and pathetic. Miami is coming out hacking versus the Padres. We have to wait a little bit because apparently there was a swarm of bees. Bug Control had to go out there and get it all fixed up. Agustin Ramirez, he split the gap to score. The leadoff hitter, Jesus Sanchez. It's still weird knowing that Jesus Sanchez is a leadoff guy. Connor Norby, he got one to fall. He's been out of his mind the last few weeks. He's hitting 377 after the RBI single. He also had a double later. He has an almost 1,000 OPS his last 15 games. Jesus Sanchez, he can be a fun kind of Kyle Schwarber-esque type leadoff guy, although he doesn't walk as much as Schwarber. I just like the fact that he has a lot of pop versus righties. Ryan Weathers, the lefty, he was disgusting. He struck out the side in the second. He ended up striking out 6, but his defense really let him down. Norby, buddy, we just hyped you up with 2 outs. He threw one over everyone out. There was a lucky bounce with Xander. He holds at third base. Norby, he then couldn't get to this one. I don't really hold that against him. That's just a perfect placement from Jose Iglesias. It's now a 3-2 ball game with the 2-out magic. And Manny Magic, he was at it again. My lord, off the facade in left field. Manny has back-to-back games with the home run and a home run in 3 of his last 4. So the game is reset. To extras we go. The Marlins legitimately threw this game away, like physically. A 2-out throwing error earlier. Now this wild pitch to hand the Padres the W on a silver platter. That is the 30th win for the Padres. We have one more game settled by 1 run, and Jacob deGrom, the GOAT, had the weirdest start maybe of his entire life, even dating back to when he was a little leaguer. As the graphics showed to start this game, he's been unreal. A 2.3 ERA with 62 strikeouts and 58 innings, so more strikeouts than innings pitched. That flipped on its head because for the first time in his entire career, he had zero strikeouts. Varsho just tagged him for a solo home run. He has 8 home runs. He passes Vladdy for the team lead, despite the fact that he missed over a month. Varsho with another extra base hit. This double bounces over. That's lucky because Vladdy, he probably would have scored. He scores anyways on the Kirk sack fly, which was all that Gosman and his bullpen needed because Wyatt Langford, yeah, he had a solo home run in the 4th. That was all that the Rangers could muster up. They have so many studs. Why do they suck at offense? By the way, Wyatt, he officially joins the double-digit home run and stolen base club. He's at 10 home runs, 10 stolen bases. Kevin Gosman ended the 5th with a strikeout. He threw 5 splitters in this one at bat. He's back out for the 6th. He got Wyatt Langford to whiff, and then he got blessed with an awful strike 3 call. Umpires have been pathetic this year, and they were even told to shrink the zone a little bit, but they're still calling pitches 18 feet off the plate. Josh Young, he has way more patience than me. Someone got ejected, though. I don't know who it was. Someone in the dugout. Gosman ended up going 8 innings. Jeff Hoffman, he's having one of the weirdest seasons ever. He has 11 saves, which is a lot. He had another 0-hit save. He either gives up 4 or throws a perfect frame. Both the Jays and the Rangers are still under 500, but can you believe that deGrom went 5 1/3 and didn't strike out anyone? I still really like what the Reds have this year, and I'm going to show this game because it shows why. Austin Hayes, he's still batting over 320. I don't know if that's going to last, but he's driving in runs all over the place. He has 25 RBIs in 29 games after that sac fly. Gavin Lux, he's a demon. He dropped in an RBI single to score Ellie. It's raining, and I guess when it rains, it pours. Tyler Stephenson, he did the pouring. That's an RBI single in the 3rd, and then he clobbered a 2-run home run for his 3rd base hit of the afternoon. Salvi, man, he ruined Nick Martinez's chance at a gem. It's still a pretty good quality start. Martinez, he was going for 7 shutout, but Salvi's 4th home run ruins it. It was kind of the only fun moment for the Royals. Skipping to Austin Hayes, he ripped a triple. He has 3 triples already. 15 extra base hits in 29 games is crazy. Santiago Espinal, he and Gavin Lux kind of form a 2-headed platoon monster. He goes 2 for 2 in this game after replacing Lux. The Reds take it 7-4. Pagan had a scary 9th inning with 2 ducks on a pond, but he has 13 saves. The Reds are 27-28. The Royals are 29-26. But I do want to talk about the Reds offense. They're 9th in runs scored. They're 12th in team OPS, and that's with Spencer Steer, Matt McClain, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Jamier Candelario being awful. I mean, Jamier has almost 100 at-bats. He has a 12. a 1-2 OPS plus. Imagine if 2 of those guys get going. The Reds are going to be even better. I really think the Reds could have a Diamondback type of offense where Arizona, they have a deep lineup. Ketel Marte and Eugenio Suarez, they did their things in this one. Ketel got on base 3 times. There he is driving in 1 on that single. Gino deleted a baseball, a 2-run home run that almost went 435 feet. That's his 15th home run. He's only 9 away from 300 for his career. He's top 6 in home runs since 2018 with 227. Judgy has the most with 277. Gino got on base again via a walk, so this is now a 2-run home run from Josh Naylor, a lefty tank. That's a great way to break out of a slump. It's been a rough last 2 weeks for Josh Naylor. The Pirates lost again, but hey, at least they had a fun debut. Braxton Ashcraft, he secured his first big league strikeout. His family was excited. The kid ended up going 3 scoreless to save the Pirates bullpen for the next week. Arizona starter Ryan Nelson, I gotta tip my cap to him. He can pump the fastball. Sometimes he loses his command, but when he doesn't, like in this start, he had 0 walks. He can go 5, 6, sometimes 7 scoreless. And by the way, shout out to Justin Martinez. He was tossed in the fire. The Pirates were really threatening. The bases were loaded. No one was out. He threw a nasty splitter to Brian Reynolds. He then popped up Spencer Horwitz with 100 and then a weak tap out to escape it. The Diamondbacks, they're 27-27. What is the Diamondbacks ceiling? Like, are they just playing bad baseball lately, or are they a 500 team? We're going to cut some fat in this Rockies-Cubs game because Taillon, he got totally to chase a fastball at his noggin. That is 13 in a row set down by Jameson Taillon. Matt Shaw, the rookie, he showed why he was in a ton of preseason Rookie of the Year conversations because he can go get it on defense too. The perfect game is still intact. There it goes. Everything is gone. The perfect game, the no-no, the shutout. You are mean, Mickey Moniak. Now, Taillon is still in line to get the W because Kyle Tucker, he got it past Tovar. Shaw, he sprints home. By the way, Shaw, not only is he good on defense and he can rake a little bit, but he's also top 10% in speed, so he's really fast as well. It's 2-1 Cubs. What are the Rockies doing? They made their best hitter bunt. Ezequiel Tovar had 45 doubles and 26 home runs last year. He's hitting 300 this year. He bunted. McMahon then grounded out to Nico. He makes this play 10 times out of 10. A perfect throw to home to get the runner. And Taillon, he saved his best curveball for last. He dots the edge. He had 7 strikeouts in this game as the Cubs, they take it on a 100-mile-per-hour strikeout out the hand of Danny Palencia. He's got 3 saves. The Cubs, for the first time this year, are 12 games over 500. They're 33-21. One more time, thank you so much for all of your support on MLB Recap over the last few years. I cannot believe that we've been doing this almost 10 years. Let's keep on growing the game of baseball, one recap at a time, so don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and enjoy the web gems.
Line to short. Nice pick on the backhand by Lindor, and he throws him out.
Chopper, Weathers fielding, backhand throw.
It's sharply, and a great play by McNeil. Wow. Then he pulls one on the ground, wide at first, diving play. Alonso for the Keys, home for the